There is no telling what we're walking into. We have no clue what are in any of these glasses, but you can bet one thing. Girls just want to have fun, and that's what we're here to do. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. Thank you for joining us today. We're happy to have you here. We're happy to be having some fun.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of different content here on the channel if you're new, but one of the things we do periodically is we do blind barrels boxes, which are an absolute blast. These things are blind flights that are put together for you by Blind Barrels, and we'll talk about some of these cards, but got everything poured up. We've got our 4 little samples in here, and Blind Barrels is sponsoring today's video, and they have a box, the same one right here, for giveaway for one of you. So make sure you comment below. Let us know why you like doing blind flights. We'll randomize all those comments, and one of you is going to get the same flight and can follow along to this video and our tasting notes and all that stuff in a little bit. So awesome of Blind Barrels to send that along. This is release number 10, the Legacy box, and it comes with this handy dandy tasting chart, and it's got the QR code that you scan here at the end. But this thing is worth its weight in gold. We've talked about it many times before. Great tasting chart. One of the best in the business.
Yeah, they've got some really interesting notes on here. Like, I've never even thought about saying rose before for floral. Wow, okay.
And we should say that Blind Barrels, you sign up with our code Erin, and you get a percentage off. And it's a great foundation, a great organization that supports foundations. So they send a little card like this within everything, and it's saying that this is honoring the distillers they've worked with, which are traditionally craft distillers and small distilleries, which is really cool. We always get to learn something new. Usually these boxes have something in them, at least one, if not all 4 pours that we've never tried before. And it's for the cost of a decent bottle of whiskey, you get to have an amazing experience. You can share it with a significant other. There's plenty in those sample jars to go around.
Yep.
But this says that for this box, this quarter, they're working with Forgotten Not Gone, donating a portion of the proceeds from each box to help combat veteran suicide and ensure that those who have sacrificed for our country can continue to add to their own legacies.
I love that.
So that's amazing. So in these 4 whiskeys, it tells us that we have a reintroduction to a type of whiskey that Ben Franklin used to bring over to England.
Okay.
Used to bring over to England.
Okay.
A well-aged bourbon that comes from a whiskey outlaw legend from a now lost distillery.
Okay.
A rye whiskey that uses a triticale, something, a fun wheat rye hybrid as a flavoring grain, and a whiskey collaboration with a craft brewery based on a sour beer recipe.
Oh, interesting.
So very fun stuff ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I think this card also contains a lot of that same information. But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting into this. We always love Blind Barrels because we get to try craft distilleries that we've never tried before.
Well, and I think for us it's fun because it's a blind that you don't have to put together. So you get to enjoy it just like I get to enjoy things all the time because I never put any of our flights together, but you get to enjoy the Blind Barrels because you don't have to put this together either. Exactly.
And it's a great date night activity. We love doing stuff like this for date nights at home, just, getting a fun experience. We believe in, as much as we love getting good bottles of whiskey, we are far more likely to pay for experiences, and something like Blind Barrels is an entire experience. You get to try these 4 things, and then you'll see at the end when we do the reveal, as we just taste and go through these and say what we like and what we don't like. At the end, we'll show you the reveal, and you can order the bottles that you want directly from the QR code. Like you scan it, it shows you the reveal. It's got all the tasting notes, and you can just order the bottle direct.
So let's stop talking. Let's start drinking.
I was going to say, oftentimes the bottles that you order are cheaper than or the same price that you would get at the distillery, which I can't travel to all these distilleries. It would cost me a fortune.
Yeah.
But I can get the bottle delivered right to me. And sometimes if they have single barrel picks in here that Blind Barrels do, that's a very unique experience because that's a one-of-one barrel that you get to try. So
now can we drink?
We can now, yeah. Let's get into it. Glass 1 on the nose.
This smells apple-y.
We are off to a great start. Yeah, super sweet apple. Almost like a tart, like sweet tart.
I wonder if this is the wheat, like wheat rye situation.
Maybe.
I'm getting there's like an undercurrent of like a slight funkiness, that makes me think maybe it's partially like a high wheat thing, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tasting chart down here, this super helpful chart, but I mean, this is like definitely in that like apricot, peach type of vibe, appley. Mm-hmm. It smells really good. It smells almost like juice.
Yeah, it does kind of smell like juice.
It smells like adult juice.
Let's drink the juice.
Let's go. Cheers.
Wow, this tastes like a juice box.
That's so good.
Like an alcoholic juice box.
Wow.
Let's be honest. You can tell there's alcohol in here, but
yeah.
Definitely an adult juice box.
That is everything the nose promised, the palate delivered. It comes through with this like super juicy, fruity sweetness. And then like there's almost like a little bit of maltiness under that. Kind of in the way of like, I'm wondering if this isn't the beer one.
Maybe.
Because it's got like this like
it might.
A little bit of like that malty hoppiness that you might get from a sweet beer, but not like a full-blown IPA. I'm not a big IPA fan personally. Don't come at me in the comments.
This straight up is like an adult juice box.
Yeah. And it's not high proof, but it's high flavor, and the finish lasts for what the proof point seems to be.
I'd say it's medium flavor. It's not a high... Yeah, I'd say it's medium flavor, but it's good. It's good flavor, and I feel like I could just imagine sipping it out of like a little box with a straw. But then it says like for adults only on it, because there's definitely alcohol in there. I like that.
Oh man,
that's really good.
I like that a lot. Second sip, I'm getting kind of this peppery black pepper, cracked black pepper spice sensation on the back of the palate leading into the finish. Nice subtle sweet oak to go along with that. I really like Glass A a lot. We are off to a very good start.
This is kind of wild.
Whoa. This has got to be some of that Ben Franklin stuff or one of the weird grains.
It smells weird. And I don't know how to describe that. It doesn't smell bad. It smells weird.
It smells like the closet of my grandmother's house.
Okay, so maybe like musty? Like what about...
It's like this old wood and like old clothes that have been hanging in there for a while.
Like mothballs?
No, not like mothballs or like not a bad mustiness, but like kind of just an old shut up. Not like an old library that we like sometimes, but this is a little bit more of like grandma's house.
Less airflow. What I will say is I'm getting a distinct lack of sweetness on the nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to taste it to see if that follows through on the palate.
Yeah, to me, this is just like opening up an old, not necessarily a cedar chest, but like an old wooden chest of clothes at my grandmother's house. So, cheers.
Whoa, this tastes like that. I think you put that in my head. This tastes like the cedar closet at my parents' house.
That's crazy.
Have you ever been in the cedar closet at my parents' house?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Why would I?
Because my mom had this whole closet built. It's a walk-in closet that the walls are entirely made of cedar. It's down there in the basement.
I don't get as much cedar from this as I just get old wood. But actually, I kind of, now that I think about it, I could get cedar on this. I could go cedar.
I mean, I'm not a wood connoisseur. I'm just saying what it reminded me of, and it reminded me of walking into the cedar closet at my parents' house.
Yeah, I'm checking the notes here. And so our woody options are cigar box, resinous oak wood, or chestnut wood. I would say this would lean a little bit more towards
Is resinous
this,
like a resin?
Yeah, like a tree resin, like sap,
okay.
It could be. I mean, I think I'd kind of lean towards barrel char on that.
So this is interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think it's for me, but I don't dislike it. I'm glad I've tried it. It's not sweet on the palate to me either. Like, it's definitely woody. It's wood forward, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like it might be a little bit sneaky on the proof, too, just a smidge.
Yeah, Glass 1, I would call a fruit forward pour. Really bright and sweet. Glass 2, it's leaning all into that wood. Now, I am getting some sweetness on Glass 2, and it's weird. It's kind of like an earthy sweetness. It's just the way the wood, I guess, is coming across, but I'm getting some of it. It feels like, to me, like the wood sugars. Like when you have a charred barrel, it releases wood sugars, and that's where a lot of the sweetness and stuff comes from. It's started to dip into that sweetness, but hasn't gone all the way. Right now, Glass 1, still my front runner.
I kind of dig it. I love that adult juice box. Like, that's like a marketing idea waiting to happen. So whoever makes this, market it adult juice boxes.
Here's the thing. I really like Glass 1. I like Glass 2, though.
Okay, yeah.
It seems like you were kind of on the fence about it.
I am on the fence about it. Glass 3 is
Wow.
This smells like old, kind of like old library.
With a bowl of fruit that's like starting to rot. Like it's just those really sugary.
So
juice.
starting to rot meaning it's like smelling bad, but like it's super sweet.
Yes.
The fruit is about to turn and is at max sweetness.
Yeah.
It's really soft. Like I'm envisioning soft fruit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow, this is wild.
This smells really good.
It's almost like if you cranked up glass 1 and cranked up glass 2 and put them together, I feel like that would be glass 3.
Kind of, yeah.
On the nose anyway.
There is a woody element in there that's just a little bit more of like a clean oak, like a sweet clean oak. And then there's just that like old fruit that's just, I mean, it's almost like if you name the fruit, it's probably in here. That's crazy. All right, let's get this on the palate. Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah?
That almost feels like I'm drinking a carbonated beverage, like a soda.
Yeah, there is some on the back. The flavor, I need another sip.
I'm getting it all on the front of the palate, like the front and middle of my tongue. Like when you take a sip of Sprite or something, like it fills up your whole mouth.
Interesting. I'm getting everything on the back of the palate.
Really?
Yeah. It's good. There's like an effervescent feeling. And I can't pick out specific flavors, but that wood and the fruit does carry through. I feel like it's stronger on the nose, but it's there on the palate.
Yeah, second sip, the front of the palate tamed down for me, and it got more into the back of the palate, like you were saying. But yeah, that's like really effervescent, really almost like a carbonated beverage. Just like pop rocks are going off in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's oily. It's kind of coating everything and making me salivate. Sweet, woody.
Oh, the finish.
Like
it builds too.
Peppery oak spice on the back end. Yeah, I would be stunned if that's not the highest proof.
Yeah, I feel like we've gone up in proof as we've tasted them. Whether we have or not, that's what it appears to me.
Yeah. And I'll say 3 glasses in, I don't think I've had any of these before.
Oh, no. I've never tasted things like this.
Which is always one of the most interesting things about blind barrels, because they go out and they vet these bottles that they're putting in here. They don't just grab stuff willy-nilly. Like, they craft these flights for specific reasons, and it makes for a really cool experience.
Every time we've done one of these blind barrels flights, I've always found something that I'm super intrigued by.
We've found at least 1, if not 2 bottles that we want to buy.
Yeah.
And have bought some. So blind barrels, the fact that you can just click the thing and buy the thing, it's kind of dangerous, to be honest with you.
It is.
But
that's
okay.
Just smell this.
Little danger never hurt anybody. Well, that's not true. Danger has hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
But a little danger.
Just smell this.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is a Josh pour.
Okay.
Ooh, I just spit. My mouth is so salivating from that third glass. I literally just spit on you. I'm so sorry. This is
where it's like looking at the card. This is the cigar box. This is the sweet oak, dark fruit.
I'm not getting a lot of cigar, like a lot of tobacco notes.
Oh man, this is like the raisins and the figs.
I'm getting that. Raisins, figs.
Oh man.
This smells like...
dark fruit, dark caramel.
As soon as I smell this, I was like, Josh is going to love this.
What can I say? I got to type. Cheers.
Okay. It's less on the palate. And less what? Less fruit?
Yeah.
On the palate?
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going.
I'm sorry, I had to think about it. It was like real time. It's less sweet on the palate. There's not a lack of sweetness, but there's definitely more sweetness on the nose. And I did get a tinge of pink eraser, which that's an endearing term for me. Like, I don't know why.
You love school supplies, definitely.
I do love school supplies. Fresh, new school supplies. Those are pretty awesome in my opinion.
Can't even take her to the grocery store. She just goes straight to the office supplies aisle and just stands in there.
I do like that. I like new pens, like new clicky pens or gel pens. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. So I feel you. There's less fruit. It's like more balance on the palate than I was expecting. Like it was more fruit up front with wood in the background. And then on the palate, those things kind of came together. And
this is very good though.
And spice levels are low to me.
Oh.
But there's a lot of impact on the palate.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say low. I think everything is pretty balanced. The spice is the same as the wood, and the wood is the same as the fruit. Everything's pretty balanced. I really enjoy this one. I think because it's like the most like bourbon-like that we have tasted.
Yeah.
But I'm very intrigued by glass 1. Yeah. I think 1 and 4 are my favorites. 2 and 3 are fine, but 1 and 4 are pretty like I would drink them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would almost agree with that, except I think I like 3 more than you do. And I think I like 2 more than you. I think I like all these a bit more than you do. And
I like 1 and 4 quite a bit.
What's interesting is like which one is the rye? Because one of these is a rye.
I don't know. I don't think it's 4. It's the rye. Can you pull it up? It's the rye with like a wheat, right?
Yeah, it's that grain, by the way, this recipe on the back, bourbon, butter, almond toffee. You get a little recipe on the back of each one of these. They're awesome. So it says that it is a rye whiskey that uses that triticole as a flavoring grain, a fun wheat rye hybrid. So very interesting. So that probably is why it's not standing out specifically as a rye in this flight.
It might be glass 1.
Oh man, 1, 3, and 4 all great in their own right. I don't know which one I prefer. Glass 2 is my least favorite, although I do still really like it.
I do think glass 2 is my least favorite as well.
Yeah, glass 2 to me is like craft whiskey well done. These others, it's like almost like that grainy, crafty, youthy note that you can get sometimes isn't really prominent in any of these, other than glass 2.
So, I think glass 4 is my favorite, but I really like glass 1. It's light. It feels like I'm drinking juice, especially after coming off of something that's dark like glass 4. Like I literally don't taste the alcohol in this now, which is dangerous. Very dangerous, but I kind of love it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that assessment at all.
Yeah.
I didn't really taste the alcohol first time around.
I did the first time around, but after doing the flight and then coming back to this, it's like it's a juice box and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I would say glass 2 is the most wood forward. Glass 3 is the most spice forward. And I think that's why I said glass 4 had low spice, because coming off of 3 and all the spice that 3 brings to the equation, 4 just felt pulled down a little bit on the spice front.
Yeah, but I do think on its own, 4 does have a decent amount of spice. Just when you compare it to glass 3, it's less.
Oh yeah, when I took a minute and then went back to glass 4, explosion of flavor.
I would love to find out what these are.
We're about to. I'm trying to get my favorite down.
Oh.
Did you say 4? You said 4 is your
4
favorite?
4 is my favorite, but 1 is like very close second. Like I'm more intrigued by 1, but I think I enjoy drinking 4 a little bit more.
Yeah, for me it's a time of year thing. Like 1 is a spring summer sipper to me.
Yeah.
Throw it in a rocks glass, maybe even put it over ice. Just enjoy those flavors for what they are. Like that's a great bottle for that. Whereas glass 4 is end of the night. I'm going to have a pour of one thing and I want to put it in the glass and be able to dissect it in a Glencairn.
Glass
and that's 4
is like a tall, dark, and handsome man.
Yeah, I would say that's
I'm
an
here
accurate.
for that. Not gonna lie.
We did just talk about girls having fun at the start of this,
Yeah.
so we're coming back around. Everything comes full circle. Yeah, 4 is going to be it for me. I even get this cola thing going on the background. Kind of like a cola root beer, Jones soda type of vibe. Man, that's really good. All right, so
I'm into this.
we need to find out what's what.
Okay. Are we gonna scan the QR
I have
code?
already scanned the QR
Oh.
code, but I'll do it again. I'll do it again just to show you guys how easy it is. And I just used my code scanner app, and that's it. And verify that I am over 21 years old. And then you can see here is like the little envelopes for the reveals, and you just click them and they show you what's what. So let's find out what glass A is, and it pops up like that. And this is Cowan Spirits Company. Never even heard of it. Axe Hole Single Malt Whiskey.
I appreciate the name.
Axe Hole. You got to enunciate. This could be a dangerous pour if you had too many of them.
Oh, it's a single malt.
In collaboration with Firestone Walker Brewing Company.
Oh, this is the beer one.
Utilizing a whiskey mash based on a sour style beer recipe, which I called
You did.
at the beginning, and is undergoing primary and secondary fermentation with native yeast and microflora for 2 years. So this is a 84 proof, 3-year-old, 100% malted barley whiskey. Wow.
I like this. Good on you guys, because I'm not
Yeah.
a big beer person, and tasting this, like I didn't even pick out that it was the beer one in the bunch. So you picked up some of the things, but it doesn't taste like beer. It
Just tastes good.
it tastes good.
And here's the thing. It is 84 proof. Typically, we don't like to pay a premium for
Fair,
a lower proof whiskey. This is $75. It's a $90 bottle, but being part of Blind Barrels, you can get it for $75. And I think that like there's enough uniqueness of flavors that's where if I'm just drinking a standard Kentucky bourbon tasting profile and it's $75 and low proof, I'm like, You know, there's
Yeah.
plenty of other options out there, but for this to be an American single malt that has this kind of flavor in it,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I honestly want to get one of these bottles, and then do they sell, you know, like the what's it called? The Capri Sun packets.
Mm-hmm.
Do they sell those where you can like put your own stuff in there?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna look on Amazon. If I could
Just
buy
make some of your own.
make some of my own like adult
juice boxes?
juice like Capri Sun packets with this for like summertime when we're like
There you go.
going out. Oh my gosh. Genius. I'm gonna look.
All right.
I'm gonna look on the Amazon.
Let's get into glass 2,
Okay.
our Woody boy. We're going to call it our Woody boy.
Okay. But
All right.
you can do
this
that.
is, click for reveal, Bent Distilling Company.
Okay.
Unbent straight rye whiskey bottled in bond.
And this is a
so
Texas whiskey.
The lack of sweetness makes a little bit of sense. 100 proof.
Okay.
5.5 to 6 years old. This is wild. It's got a 51% Elban rye, 27% Triticole, 20% Maris Otter malted barley, and 2% Golden Naked Oats.
All right.
Gotta love a good naked oat. So
Okay.
very, very interesting. The rye makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. This is my least favorite, unfortunately, but
Yeah,
hey.
still good, and $55, so not bad. All right, moving on to sample C, which was our third place. We had the same kind of overall rankings.
Yeah.
So glass C was that was the one that had more spice on the palate and just great flavors overall.
I'm getting more butterscotch on the nose now.
This is Liberty Pole Spirits out of Washington, Pennsylvania.
That's the Ben Franklin one?
Old mahogany. Well, I know what this word is supposed to be pronounced like, but it's a tough one. Monongahela. Old Monongahela Full-Proof Rye Whiskey.
Okay.
Wow. So old
It's a
Monongahela.
rye?
Yeah. So this is interesting. Jim Beam just released an A Overholt that used Monongahela rye.
Okay.
And that's the first I'd ever heard of it. I wonder how long Liberty Pole Spirits has been doing this, but this is a $65 bottle. That's a blend of 6 casks ranging from 3.5 to 4.5 years old. 61% Pennsylvania rye, some malted rye, some malted barley, and some malted wheat in there. Very interesting.
Is this distilled in Pennsylvania or just the rye's from Pennsylvania?
Everything's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And it's their own stuff. So this is interesting. The aroma notes: muddled raspberry, old leather, ripe cantaloupe, peach rings, a touch of licorice, I'm assuming red, and then reminiscent of a warm bakery. That all checks out.
I can see that.
That's good. And
I
then-
didn't get that, but hearing that, I agree.
Yeah, and then the tasting notes: spiced baked apples, fluffy baked goods, and then it goes on and on. Warm berry pie. I get all that stuff on there.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I'm
That's
very
crazy.
curious. What's this last one?
all right. So our last one, our favorite of the bunch, sample D, is World Whiskey Society from Pendergrass, Georgia, Ivy Mountain Distillery. Whiskey is Doc Holliday 10-year straight bourbon whiskey. Interesting. I have never seen this bottle before. So it says it's an incredible bourbon from a now lost distillery made by a family that has over 150 years of moonshining experience. We think their legal bourbon is pretty great too, and so thankful that our friends at the World Whiskey Society uncovered this never to be seen again whiskey. 122 proof, 10 years old.
So we did go up in proof.
Yep. 80% corn, 10% malted corn, 10% malted corn, 5% rye, 5% barley. That's crazy.
How much is it to buy?
This is $130, and that it tastes like that.
Yeah.
It tastes twice as expensive as the other pours in here.
Man, if you hadn't already committed our budget, I would have you buy 4 and 1. But
Already blew our budget
he's already pre-spent our next month's budget. So
for the year.
For the year. 2025 is spoken for.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. So this is super cool. Like, this is why we like Blind Barrel so much. This
These are
is
good.
this is why we do these videos. We've not tasted any of these.
Never
I've not
heard of any of these.
Heard of any of these distilleries. So the fact that for a few bucks every quarter you can get this delivered
What's
to
a
your
few
door.
bucks?
It's like $70, 60, $70.
Okay.
And you got our discount code using
Oh.
code Aaron
Yes.
to get the discount there. Whatever this costs to me is worth it.
It's worth the price for the experience
So
that we get to
fun,
have
yeah.
because we would have never tried any of these.
Right. Like,
And
look,
we have a whiskey tube channel. We try a lot of stuff that most people can't try, and we
Yeah.
would never have tried any of these, which is so cool that we got to.
Yeah.
So thank you, Blind Barrels.
never see any of these on our shelves at our local stores. So even if we were to run across one, we wouldn't know, like we wouldn't even have the opportunity,
Yeah,
to your point.
we wouldn't even know.
So yeah, very, very cool to be able to try these. I mean, 3 of these 4 I would absolutely buy. And
2 of the 4 I would buy.
oh, see, I like 3 more than you.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I love 1 and I love 4.
Yeah.
But I really wish that you hadn't spent our money because I want these.
Maybe we'll have to work the budget around,
Okay.
find a little fluff. But if you love this video and you want to get in on the Blind Barrels experience, again, the link is down in the video description below. Don't forget to comment because you can get this flight and try all of these whiskeys and compare your notes to our notes.
You want to try these.
You do. You absolutely do. And if you like this, if you like the channel, subscribe, like the video, give us a little thumbs up down there, and hit that bell. Join us for a live stream. We have a ton of fun. We do a lot of blinds on those as well. And yeah, I think that's about it for today.
Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Be good to each other, y'all. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Treat yourself to some adventure. Man, these are really good.
Yeah.
I think this might be the best box front to back that we've gotten from them yet.
I agree. And I definitely want one because my mission is clear. With this one, I will find the containers and I will make like a little adult like juice boxes, and we can have like friends come over and I can pass out the adult juice boxes.
Man, oh man, they keep killing it.
I love it.